We're about ready to kick off our first Planning Commission meeting of 2022. We have a quorum. We have two folks coming in on Zoom, Megan and Chris. But we'll start because we have, might as well start. So first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So the first order of business is the sort of reorg of the chair and vice chair. So I guess what I'll say is, does anyone want to make a motion to select a chair and a vice chair?
Make a motion.
Skip?
I propose that the current chair and vice chair continue in those roles.
All in favor? Okay, unanimous, I think, right? Very good, okay. Thank you all. I can't speak for David, but I'm happy to do this. And one thing I will say, it's a little housekeeping thing though, is I may not be here for the 7th of February meeting. So it's my 40th wedding anniversary, so I'm thinking I'm going to be out of town. If I'm not out of town, I definitely will be here. But so I don't know how your schedule works, David, on that, but maybe we can figure it out. Okay. So we had the minutes from November, our November meeting. We didn't meet in December. Has anyone reviewed those and has concerns? If not, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from November? Second? Approved? Yep. Very good. Discussion items tonight. We have actually one discussion item. The second item is simply a signature on a DEP form, my signature on a DEP form. So it's the first item is 130, 132 Calvary Lane, minor subdivision plan lot lane adjustment. And Vince Calvarese is here. He's the owner and developer of Calvary's Lane. And Nick, you're going to walk us through some stuff?
Sure.
Roger did review this, your plan.
Correct. Good evening and Happy New Year. So this is the plan. I think some of you are familiar with Calvary's Lane. It's up off of South Devon Avenue. It was developed probably in the 1950s by Vince's dad, and currently is a cul-de-sac. And as I mentioned in my waiver letter, I think Vince still owns 8 lots, and I think his family owns 3 other lots. So he's a little compound there among his kids and himself as well. The purpose of this subdivision is really for estate planning purposes, as he's going to divide up the lots. One of the other reasons, as you can see on the plan, here are the 2 lots for the subdivision. The one lot, the property line goes through an existing garage. There are no dwellings on either of these 2 lots. There's no intent to put any dwellings on either of these 2 lots. The only reason there's a future residence listed on the one lot, lot 132, is because the SALDO requires you to put a house on it, or at least a footprint for a home. But there's no intent to build any residences here. The existing garages will stay. Where we want to move the one lot line that goes through the one existing garage to this area here, which would make both lots entirely conforming. Would conform to the setbacks, would conform to lot area, lot width, and everything of that nature. And also, obviously, you put the garages on the one lot instead of having the property line right through the middle of the one garage. Roger did issue a letter. The first one, the zoning comment, we will have to, will comply. We just have to show the existing zoning requirements for lot 132. And actually, this plan here, he's already done it, actually. The plan he handed me tonight does show it, but you haven't seen that plan yet. He'll have to, submit the plans to the township. So that's a will comply on zoning. subdivision number 1, the plan 24 by 34. He had made it a smaller plan. This is actually 24 by 34 plan, so he's already done that. The other one was a location map, and he didn't have that on the other plan, and he's put the site location map on the plan. The other comments were waiver requests. The one was the one you see all the time about locating significant man-made features within 500 feet of the site. The second one was to put contour lines on this property. As I mentioned in the waiver letter, if he ever decides to build on these properties, he would need a grading permit. And as a result of that grading permit, he would have to show any steep slopes that would be existing on the property. And likewise, on the next item, which is number 5 on the subdivision comments, large trees over 6 inches in caliber. Again, if you did get a grading permit, you'd have to go to shade tree and show any trees that are being removed and the size of those trees being removed. The final comment, I don't think that's a waiver issue. It just says the Board of Commissioners may require. If they did require it, then obviously we'll be asking for a waiver for that issue. That's number 6.
Hey,
And
Nick,
then
on
the
number,
general comments.
on number 6, the right-of-way is like, it's 50 feet, right? On
Yeah, the
Cal-
right-of-way is actually pretty wide already
Yeah.
on Calvary Lane. And remember, this is on a cul-de-sac. Yeah. It's 50 feet, and this is on a cul-de-sac anyway, so
Right.
it'd be no gain on giving additional right-of-way for these 2 lots, because that's all you would be expanding and moving it here. And there's already utilities in there. I think you already have, everything in here for utilities. And then obviously, we know that new deeds would have to be prepared for this if it was approved.
And Nick, this isn't like, there's no septic on this site.
No,
This is all public water.
yeah. Yeah, the one here where it says Tolan, that's Vince's daughter and her husband live at that house, and everything's public sewer here.
So essentially, Steve, we're looking at a lot line change by an owner of all the properties, both properties.
Correct, Mr. Golis, and Mr. Cornelia is right. Should, at some point in time, whether it be the owner or if the lot is sold or someone else, ever wish to build on this lot, all these items will come into play on the grading permit review. Or they'll have to put the contours, mark all the trees and so forth. So,
Yeah, I mean, I went by because I'm on Shade Tree, but then when I'm reading it, I'm thinking, this isn't going to come before Shade Tree.
so there was just a slight technicality. Normally, if it's just a basic lot line change, this would have been done administratively. But there was one item that made it come here. So 90% of the time, a lot line change like that would have been done internally.
Any planning commission members have any comments, questions for the applicant or Nick? Seeing none. is
Mr.
it-
Chairman, I just wanted to emphasize something that Nick brought up, that of course we know need deeds would have to be done. I don't see that necessarily in Roger's letter, so I think maybe that should be added as a condition, that deeds of conveyance and consolidation
Okay,
be prepared to the satisfaction of the township.
that's a good point. Thank you, Mary. Is there any public comment? Does anyone want to make a motion?
I think there is a deed comment on the end of Roger's letter. It says general, new deeds must be prepared.
Thanks, Liz.
Does anyone
So-
want,
So I'll make a motion. So motion to approve the lot line change, subject to the new deeds being prepared as required by the township?
sounds good? Is there a second? All in favor?
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
So that brings us to Eagle and Radnor Road, the Concordia Planning Module approval by the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. I think Steve might have something to say more than I have already. I'm not sure.
Thanks, Mr. Golis. So, this is for the 18-lot subdivision on Eagle Road. Was known as the Eastern Subdivision, right? It was basically the parking lot and split levels purchased by Eastern from Valley Forge Military Academy and sold to the developer. So the sewage facility planning model is a requirement of the Act 537, where they must acquire sewage capacity for their lots. They had some by virtue of the fact that there's existing homes there. They need to acquire additional. This is the process by which they go through with DEP. It's pretty perfunctory in nature for this commission, but it is required to be before you. So our consultant has reviewed the sewage facility planning model, find it to be in order. This will then go to DEP and get reviewed by them. If they provide that capacity, approve that capacity for the developer, this is actually the last hurdle they have until they can build homes there.
Great. So basically, tonight, it's my signature on that document.
And correct, and I think the commission does have to vote on it
Okay?
for you to be, to be proper, and then we would ask for your signature.
Okay. So I'll need a motion to approve my signature on the application.
Matt, before you go, do we have any public comment, or is there anyone?
Is there any public comment? Seeing none?
I make a motion to approve the DEP module as we have discussed on Eagle Road.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. There's no old business. The only new business would be finding out if I'm not going to be here in February, how we can have a meeting. So we might put something, maybe I'll put something out this week, just saying who can lock in for February, so we'll know we'll have a quorum.
And Trish usually does that about a week or two beforehand, just as time goes on.
Okay, great.
And we have Mr. Nat to take your place.
Excellent. Well, that's it, folks. I think we can call for an adjournment. All in favor? February 7th is Tuesday.
Monday. All right, I could, if it's Monday, I'm definitely here.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'll let everyone know how that goes, and thank you all for coming. We're adjourned.